What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points, break it down on what is really happening, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound is down 1.87%. So no actual news associated to SoundHound that's causing this. Rather, it's just piggybacking off of the broader market. A lot of fear right now. $7.78 the low, and then $8.37 is the high. So it did have a very abnormal spike. In my opinion, like I said in the past, I think that SoundHound does have a lot of good potential and it does truly want to go up, but of course it's not exempt from kind of defying the broader market. Plus, there was one thing that did come out that's kind of killing the sentiment. So recently, since their last earnings, have become very bullish on SoundHound. Prior to that though, I was rather annoyed. I did see a lot of good potential with the stock, but one thing that was always my pet peeve was insiders. And so let's kind of pop over here. There was a couple of things that did come out after hours yesterday. So one Form 4 at 525, another Form 4 at 524, and then a 144 at 422, all done after hours yesterday. Let's kind of pop that open. So Form 4 is disclosures to the SEC, and this individual right here, who is a director, so Marcus Lawrence, did sell, so transaction code S, so meaning for a straight up sale, not for tax purposes, and plus based on any notes there would be indicated right here for tax purposes, but there was none. So 30,000 shares at $7.15 on the 21st, and then on the 22nd, 25,000 shares at $7.50. This is a very bad scenario, because if it was just one individual, then yeah, so be it, whatever. But there was more. So Eric Ball, once again, transaction code S right here, 50,000 shares at $8. 20,000 shares at $8.42, and then at $8.03 another 30,000. So this one right here, they do have it in trust, which is kind of disclosed from 2014 way back when. So this individual has always had it under Ball Axeline Living Trust. So I don't know the reason for that, maybe tax purposes or whatever kind of benefit they get, but nonetheless, though, it does not state for tax purposes. It was planned based on this kind of trading plan, but still transaction code S, meaning just straight up sell. So another second Form 4, and then as well, to top it all off, you also had another 144. So Eric Ball, 30,000 shares on the 25th. So I think this might be a duplication in all honesty, 25th. So normally you don't do a 144 and then a Form 4, the kind of duplicate in reality, but I just wanted to bring this up. Regardless though, what I'm getting at is just insiders have always just received shares, meaning transaction code A, so they get awarded shares and then they sell time and time again. So insiders are never buying. So this is a very bad look for the company, and especially, like I said, since I've been covering them on and off for a while now, this has been always my pet peeve, because it starts to gain traction, and then what do insiders do? They just say, F it, I'm going to sell. Nothing is worse than seeing an insider sell when it's gaining momentum. That does signal that they feel that it's not, it shouldn't be at these prices, which is kind of contrary to what the latest earnings did signal and everything like that. So shorts absolutely love these types of stocks, because like the company is doing the damage to themselves for the most part. And just to give you a quick overview of what shorts are doing right now, they are returning 142,000 shares, just quickly refreshing this. So they are returning 142,000 shares, 23.57% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 77.28 million shares. That wasn't actually the case. So first thing, as you can kind of see right here, they did increase roughly around 9 million shares. And yes, you are getting that right. So SoundHound did want to move higher, but the reason why it went down is because shorts increased a very significant amount, 9 million shares, or more specifically 9.7. So essentially, shorts killed the momentum. And I think now a lot of people are just piggybacking off of the broader market, and then these Form 4s. Some people don't care about them. I do. I care about sentiment, and insider selling is usually a bad thing, in my opinion at least, even if it was planned or not. If it's for tax purposes, then so be it. But I think generally, like, I don't know, the SoundHound insiders, they need to get rid of a lot of the directors and kind of replace them. But shorts have been able to piggyback and just do whatever the hell they want. And this has been as well one thing I've brought up in the past, is the fact that with lower volume and shorts this kind of ingrained in the stock, they're free to do whatever they want. And if they want to bring the stock down, they can definitely do so. So it's not the best right now. As far as options, 2.86 million in calls, 619,000 in puts. 49% of all the options being done so far today are bearish. And just to give you an overview, a lot of big money is getting into SoundHound through options. Just between 935 and 940, there was $497,000 in premiums. Of the call options that are being purchased, you still do see a consensus for it to be above roughly $9, so more optimism. And then on the bear side, they are anticipating for it to be sub 750. So in reality, there is still a lot more upside anticipated based on all of this. Just the broader markets, like I said, just selling off. Plus, it's not really helping to see this right here. So based on the bid, the ask, and the selling price, majority of the transactions today are sells coming from big money. So big money is not really buying the SoundHound dip as much as I think people would have really anticipated. So it's kind of an unfortunate thing. And one thing that, in my opinion, was a very big driving factor for SoundHound to go higher was its technicals, but that is starting to break down slightly. So with it at $7.87, it is trading between these 2 points. So the R1 and the pivot. So 757 is going to be a strong support. Hasn't been touched today whatsoever. Flip side, $8.53 is that next strong target / resistance. Similarly, that wasn't touched whatsoever. But popping over to IBKR, you kind of see right now 758, so that pivot point is that ALMA. So this is where you really want to watch that. But looking at the 1 month chart, this is where you're seeing some weakness. So it does show some signs of consolidation right now, at least on the 1 month. You see it very oversold. So this might be just a momentary blip, more so just a temporary pullback. So in reality, as long as it can stay above this point right here, 744, kind of bigger picture, then things still should be fairly good, kind of moving in the right direction. But I think SoundHound really does need to have a full-on inside meeting and just say, hey, what the hell are you doing? Why do you keep selling? Should we stop and amend the compensation and not give you all these shares, or at least kind of change the dynamic? Because why would investors buy when insiders are selling? It's always just a very negative look, in my opinion. In the past, I've seen to be the only one that brings this up as a negative. And this is when obviously it was roughly around that $5 range, but it's a very bad look nonetheless. So let me know your thoughts on SoundHound. So pretty much right now, the two driving factors why it's going down is just shorts and the broader market. And then the sentiment isn't really helping right now. So what's your viewpoint? Do you still see SoundHound kind of moving higher, possibly double digits? Or do you think that there is going to be further consolidation to roughly this pivot point right here, or even lower? So it seems to be more trade, tariffs, and all that fun jazz front and center right now. So yeah, I think things might get a little bit worse before they get better, but what do I know, right? My crystal ball is sometimes wrong. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing I wanted to share with you though, I did launch a Patreon where I'm giving buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto, and I have been giving some home runs. So definitely pop over there to take a look. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, I appreciate all of you watching.